Good morning. Good morning, America. I'm Curtis Lewis, your host, the guy with the plan, I guess. The here with the way forward. It's been a while. I feel like it's been a few weeks. Been a lot of traveling, a lot of things happening, so we've had to move things around a little bit. But I'm super excited to be here with you all today. I got a heavy lineup. Two great brothers out here in the city of Detroit doing great work. Um, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking to myself today. So I'm gonna bring these brothers on because they got a lot to say. But let me just jump right in. First of all, I've been doing my weather check. I feel like I've been doing it the last couple of months. So now I think the last time I was here it was April. Now we're in May. So it's a rainy, very rainy day so far this Saturday. But the temps are rising. Super excited about that. Um, Looking forward to. I'm not looking. I'm not a summer person, so I don't like the. I don't like it when it's like 90, 95, 100. I don't like that. I know people love that. I know I don't. So I prefer it to be a lot cooler outside. Probably like seven, like it is now. It's like perfect for me. So I'm looking forward to the longer days. The days are longer. That's all good. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to the heat. Let me just jump right into some stuff, man. There's been a lot of stuff going on since we last talked. Detroit did an outstanding job with the draft. Not surprised. I was at an event. I ain't going to even say. I was at an event recently, and somebody who's not from the area, not even like who been here 20 years or plus like myself, but who's not even here been here long at all, and don't even live here. So Detroit is coming back. I don't know why that irritated me so much. Like, coming back, like it's like what? Where'd it go? But yeah, just I don't know. So yeah, shout out to all the folks who went down there. I wasn't going down there with the crowd. And yeah, I like to watch it on TV. So good stuff though. But let's jump right into this one quick thing because I want to bring these brothers on soon. There's been this video going viral. This teacher who black male teacher who was getting his hair unbraided by his by the young lady, some of the girls in his classroom, and it has taken off. From my understanding, I don't know what to believe on social media. And I heard he got fired. The last thing I seen, he got fired. There was a video saying he got fired. I don't know if that's real because I ain't seen the video. I only seen like a still shot of him crying. So I was like, is this somebody made this? I don't know. But regardless of that, if he got fired, that's a whole nother conversation. But the conversation, it's been heated. People been like, "Oh my God, this is crazy! Oh my God, what is wrong with y'all? This is what we need," and it's been sort of polarizing, big time. And I'm gonna say this about it. I think somebody said this, and somebody said to them, they're not even a friend of mine. I just saw it on one of those. They just commented on somebody else's page, but I know. And they said it perfectly, and I'm not going to quote them because I don't have to remember what they said. But in essence, it was around the idea of schools need help. Schools need people volunteering their time and all that other good stuff in these in the spaces. And for those people who are doing a lot of the talking project, spending very little time in schools, supporting the youth, supporting teachers, supporting admin, and so. I have some thoughts about that. I won't spend a lot of time talking about it just because I can go on and on about it. I think there is a time and place for things, but like, yeah, we will. I'll leave it there. There's a time and place for everything. However, to I think the way he's been villainized, I think a lot, and some of the folks who disagree with him, I think is a little extreme. But who am I to who am I? The other thing I want to bring up really, really quickly um, is our upcoming events. So one, BMEA has been busy. We have our gala coming up on June 8th. It is sold out super. And when I say people are like, oh, is it really sold out? It's super sold out. Like there's no room. Like we don't even I don't even have a seat. So like we like putting people like in the corner. So it's super sold out. And so shout out to the folks. Next year we'll probably get a slightly larger venue as well. So for those who didn't get a chance to attend this year, just be ready and don't take your time. I said this on the last show. It's gonna set out real quick, and I think it's sold out in like 2.5 to 3 weeks. So just next year when we post, just get it going. But I'm excited about our honorees. We've honoring some great folks. If you've been following us on social media, if you don't, please do so. We've been, day by day honoring, um, talking about the folks that we are going to be honoring at the event. So I am excited about all those folks. Well deserved. We got our Teachers of the Year, Transformational Teacher of the Year, Transformational Leader of the Year. We got folks, community change agents that's out here doing great things, like the two brothers that are coming on shortly. And so, yeah, it's going to be a great time. We're going to have music. We're going to talk some good stuff, and we're going to have fun and celebrate the folks that are doing the work in our schools and in our community. So, looking forward to that June 8th. And then also, BMEA is having our summer program. It's our BMEA summer program. Shout out to Balmer and United Way for their support. We also don't have any more space for children as well. We would love to open it up to as many kids as we could, but there were limitations. But moving forward, stay tuned. Next summer, we'll be hopefully doing the same thing, and also using this to launch something else that I'm working on as well. So looking forward to the support. Shout out to the parents who jumped right on it. To see the parents' excitement about this. We're about to show, we're about to do the work, right? And talk about, I am very critical of our K-12 system, very critical, unapologetically critical about it. And so I don't want to just talk about it. I want to show us how this is done. And so I'm looking forward to looking at having a model of what schools can look like, and particularly for Black boys. We got all Black male educators that are going to be teaching all Black boys in grades 2nd through 5th. And so we're going to be creating a model of what school can look like for kids. And so I don't want to just talk about it, I want to be about it. So we'll see. And I love some criticism as well, because we're not perfect. But this work around supporting our children, our Black children, and I don't like to use crisis because I think we get all urgent, like, oh my God, it's a crisis. Like, it is, but I think there are solutions out here. I think we just got to make it a priority. And so again, this show ain't about that. I'm gonna get to my people in a second, but when I come back in a couple of weeks, we're gonna spend some time talking about this K-12, this beautiful K-12 system of ours. All right, so with that, let me first off, before I do that as well, I gotta shout out. I just mentioned the gala. I gotta shout out our sponsors. So I want to thank to all our corporate sponsors: the Western Governors University, City Year, Comerica Bank, Thomas and Tiffany Taylor. Shout out to Thomas and Tiffany Taylor. Thank you to our school sponsors: Detroit Achievement Academy, Detroit Prep, University Prep Art and Design, and UPrep Schools. Big thanks to our gold sponsor, Tutor by Teachers. Shout out to Tutor by Teachers. Like, they have been an example of a great partner. And we're working on some other things together. So I am super excited about that partnership and the support that they've given us from the beginning. And also big thanks to one of our biggest supporters of the work, who not only support us, but allowed us, they don't put parameters around what we do. And I just posted on my Instagram about, it's Chris Emden, the wonderful Dr. Chris Emden, posted something about funding, and funding can be racism, can be racist. And just because people giving people funds doesn't mean that it's not rooted in racism. And Skillman, for example, has done a fabulous job of allowing us to be who we are as an organization and supporting us in our work with no boundaries, no expectations outside of continue to do the work you're doing. So I just want to shout out to Angelique and Carmen, Panita, all the folks over there who's been a huge supporter from the beginning, 5 years ago when we first got started. So just all love to them. All right, so let's get going. We got our first guest, Mr. Dwan Dandridge, who is I don't know if he's been on the show before. I don't know if you're a friend of the show yet, but we're gonna call you the friend of the show. But this is my guy. We met actually at the barber shop. Um, Juan, the other Juan, who is our barber. I think we met there. I think he's talked about both of us to each other, and then we just happened to meet. And this brother, and I'll let him talk about himself and what he's doing with Black Leaders Detroit. But the work that he's doing, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about people who are just not just talking, but doing the work. And so I am so excited, man, to have you on today. I know it's Saturday. I know you're busy. I know you probably got somewhere else to go in about 5 minutes. My bad. But welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and congratulations on the event being sold out, as well as like all of the work. I know that sometimes congratulations can feel weird in the work that we do, right? Because it's like congratulations on a success, but at the same time, we know that there's a lot more work to be done, and we are not seeing the changes that we want to see at the level that we want to, but it will not happen unless you're doing the work that you're doing. So it's an honor to be here, and I salute you and glad to be.
Hey, man. Hey, likewise. I appreciate you. So let's introduce yourself a little bit, and in doing that, talk a little bit about sort of how Black Leaders Detroit sort of began. I remember seeing something on Facebook years ago. I can't remember how long was it. I think it was before the pandemic. Yeah,
Yes,
I remember
really.
saying something about this, and I remember Juan talking about this as well. And so, talk about sort of where this all got started and what's happening today.
Yeah, so definitely shout out to Juan for always being a cheerleader and champion and supporter of dynamic brothers like yourself and the work that we all are looking to do. But yeah, so I'm Dwan Dandridge, lifelong Detroiter, husband, father of three, grandfather of one, father-in-law of one as well. So I definitely want to acknowledge my son-in-laws at the same time. Yeah, so Black Leaders Detroit, we are a nonprofit that exists to provide capital to Black entrepreneurs in the city of Detroit. We are serving a nonprofit and for-profit sector, and we provide the funding by way of grants and no interest loans. So as you mentioned, we launched before the pandemic, so pretty much right before the pandemic. So our launch was October 26, 2019. And, we came around at a very interesting time. I remember, as you mentioned, funding can be racist at times. I remember us talking to potential funders about looking for donations in 2019, and when some of them will say, well, y'all not inclusive, right? Like y'all only serving the Black leaders in Detroit, so like that doesn't necessarily work for us. Well, after 2020, and not even thinking about COVID, but I'm talking about George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and all the brave protesters that held the mirror up to us as a nation, got out there and was out there like making noise. Some of those same people came back to us and was like, hey, we want to fund something Black. You know what I mean? They didn't use those words, but that's basically what they were saying, right? But since then, we've been able to distribute above $2.8 million to Black entrepreneurs operating in the city of Detroit. And we think we're just getting started, So I think it's important to mention that one of the ways that we raise funding, as well as some lots of support from the philanthropic community, we're going to depend on everyday people that get it and understand it and believe in fairness, believe in self-determination. So we ask everyday people to donate $1 a week, right? And our goal is to get to 1 million people willing to make that commitment. So we'll have a serious pot of money controlled by Black Detroiters and allocated for Black Detroiters.
Man, that's the idea in itself is beautiful, but like to see the work that you guys are doing and the impact you are having on, and this is one of the things that I've been sort of talking to a lot of folks around philanthropy about. Like we are so big on funding these larger organizations that have huge foundational support, and so oftentimes the smaller nonprofits don't get the support that larger organizations do. And so the work that you're doing, and I see when y'all have y'all the February nonprofit giveaway. I don't know if y'all call it giveaway, but the money
Black
that y'all
History,
giving out, surprising
Black History
Black
Month, yeah,
History. Yeah, I love the approach that y'all have to supporting these smaller organizations where 5,000, 3,000, 10,000 can go a long way in supporting the work that they do on the ground. Because a lot of these folks, man, as you know, are not even really getting paid to do, or even getting paid good enough money to just live off that particular job itself.
definitely.
And they're doing this work out of their, like spending their own money doing this work. And so the work that you guys are doing in supporting these smaller organizations is extremely pivotal to the work actually getting done. Because these are
Yeah,
the organizations that's on the ground actually doing the work. So with
yeah.
that, tell me a little bit about how you go about, looking into other organizations. Do y'all have a criteria? Like if I'm a small organization, how do I get sort of involved or get support from you guys?
So great question. So some of the things that we look for, you've been around for at least a year, right? And you're operating in the city of Detroit and it's serving people in Detroit. So we're talking about the nonprofit sector right now. And it's very similar for the for-profits that we support as well. But that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that's been around doing work. We are excited about people that are just getting started as well. But again, our supply is not as big as the need that's out there. So we have to find ways to make sure that we're stretching it as far as we can. So we want you to have been around at least a year. And then sometimes like the Black History Month a grant initiative or celebration that you mentioned, some of the ways that we believe in getting the funding out is we have a model, a core value that we call sharing power, right? And what that looks like for us. So I'll tell you where it started. I started working for in the nonprofit sector for a white-led nonprofit that was doing some amazing work, I might add. But one of my early meetings there, and I think it's important to point out that one of the reasons I was there is I really wanted to understand how some of the white-led nonprofits raise so much money and so much momentum, and got a great education while I was there. But one of the things that I pointed out was like, hey, oftentimes Christians, though it wasn't a faith-based organization, but like many of the founders were people of faith, and myself identifying as a person of faith, I said, you don't mind sharing resources, right? And especially white Christians from the suburbs don't mind sharing resources, but what you don't like to do is share power. And what we want to know is, are you ready to share power? Because that's two different things. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of blueprints for us to follow. So we may have to create a blueprint that others can follow. So for me, as we want to hold others accountable, we want to be held accountable as well. So we like to share power as well. So we invite those members, the people that I've mentioned are donating that $1 a week, to nominate nonprofits that they think are doing amazing work during the month of February. We take those nominations, narrow it down to 20, or in this case, in this year, where it's leap year, 21, and we dole out a grant every day or every business day during the month of February. We gave away $110,000 to celebrate Black History.
Man, that's fantastic. Fantastic. I mean, I can't give you enough love and respect for the work that you guys are doing, man. And people, you're such a humble human being. Like this is who this guy is, and you see him in person, which makes it even better because it's not about you. You're doing the work for the people. So that's much appreciated. Speaking of power and all that other stuff that comes with power, you have an upcoming ride for equity.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about what is the ride for equity. And after you do a brief explanation, we're going to show a clip from last year.
So Ride for Equity is a 7-day, 377-mile bike ride from Detroit to Mackinac, where it's our annual fundraiser, but it's also a way for us to raise awareness around the work we do. We ride the week before the Mackinac Policy Conference, and then I attend the policy conference afterwards.
That's great. So we're going to, and I have another follow-up question, but we're going to show this quick clip.
So Ride for Equity 2023 has probably been the most challenging ride so far for a number of reasons. The rest of my fingers work pretty good. They're shifting gears and braking. But it's also been the most rewarding.
When I heard about people riding their bikes all the way to Mackinac from Detroit to promote economic equality for Black and brown people, I was really impressed by the symbolic sort of, ride and struggle to get a seat at the table.
That's just another reminder of how difficult it is for Black entrepreneurs to gain access to capital, which is why we are here, is why we exist, to get that donation so that we can put that money right back into the Black small business ecosystem. And the way we do that is the $1 a week, $4.33 a month, or $52 a year.
It just can't be a Black issue. It can't be an issue with a handful of people supporting an organization like Black Leaders Detroit. It's got to be on a broad base because there has to be systematic changes. This is part of our society, part of our culture, and that's going to involve everybody. And I'm very proud just to be a small part of it.
Historically, there's been some intentional setbacks, so we need some intentional setups.
Michiganders are very loving and neighborly people to one another. And the ride across the state from Detroit to Mackinac is our effort to raise awareness. If they are not...
Man, shout out to you, brother. I think, did you, was that last year? Because didn't I see you at the barbershop right after that? Yeah, that was last year. You was talking about that. Man, first of all, again, great. So I told you in the bar, we just talked about this a few weeks ago, but I am going to ride, but I'm not riding the entire 7 miles. So for those folks who can't do the whole 7 miles, so I'm going to be honest with you, brother. I got me a Peloton. The Peloton ain't the same thing as riding bike for real. But I got a Peloton, so I was trying to get ready. I was hyped. I was trying to get ready. And then I've been traveling too much. And so I'm like, I ain't going to be able to do that. Those 7 miles that's going to be tough. It's gonna be tough. But I'm gonna root y'all on. So for those who can't do 7 miles, because I'm gonna do something, it ain't gonna be 7 miles. Not 70.
Right.
78. Is it 78 miles? Is it 78? 377. Right? I'm like, you going to Mackinac? I ain't no 70 miles from Mackinac. 300. So I ain't doing all that. So I'm probably gonna do. I think there's a first leg that you guys do. Talk a little bit about that part.
So for those that don't ride long distances, you can come out and hang out with us and cheer us on and see us off. We really need that, right? Like day 4, day 5, when I'm tired and sore from sitting in that seat, I really need to be able to remember those folks that cheer us on. But you can do that by coming out to the kickoff ride. It's a 6-mile ride, 3 miles in one direction, 3 miles back. It's slow and steady pace. There's going to be about 300 of us riding. Police escorts. We're going to ride from University of Detroit at 6 Mile Livernois, right down Livernois to Ferndale Food at 9 Mile Livernois. So we'll convene there, do a quick thank you, and everybody will turn around and head right back with the same police escort. So that should be pretty light work if you're like in any type of shape, or if you've been on your bike at all, or if you haven't been on it in a while, but you know that you're pretty fit, because we're not going to be looking to push anybody super hard.
Good stuff, man. So what day is this again?
That's May 19th, 8 a.m. And you can sign up at our website, blackleadersdetroit.org, and you can register right there. There's a $20 registration fee. That goes to getting your T-shirt and some other stuff that we'll have there available for you, as far as like some nutrition and whatnot.
Perfect. So I'm gonna be there. I'll be there. I'm gonna do my 6 miles. I'm gonna be hyped about that. I'm gonna feel good for the day. I'm gonna cheer you on. And for anybody listening or hear this later on, the first 5 people that email me, I'm gonna pay your 20. You ain't even gotta pay your $20. Just show up.
That's what's
you ain't
up.
Gotta pay your $20. Just show up. All right. So I want to encourage all my teachers, my leaders, all the folks that are fellows in the organization, within the organization, to get your $20, get on those bikes, and let's support this work it's about another week. Next weekend. Next weekend to be exact.
Next Sunday.
Yep. So let's do it. So I'll be there. I'm gonna ride my 6 miles, man. With my bottle of water with me. I'm gonna try to get my Peloton game up a little bit. So last thing I want to say before I bring Tyree on is, how else can people support? We got the Ride for Equity going on. So we want to support that work. We'll promote that through our networks as well. but also what else can people do beyond the Ride for Equity to support Black Leaders Detroit?
Definitely sign up to become a member, right? Like we ask people to do like Ken said, $1 a week, $4.33 a month, or $52 a year. And that money goes right back out to Black entrepreneurs. We have a no interest loan. Now, no interest loan is not the idea didn't come from, but the blueprint came from the Jewish community, right? There's an organization here in Michigan called Hebrew Free Loan that's been doing no interest loans in the Jewish community for 128 years. They gave us their blueprint, right? We took the blueprint, tweaked it a little bit, and rolled it out a couple years ago. And it's been growing like wildfire. We did $466,000 in no interest loans this first quarter alone. So please become a member. We don't want to take anyone from their main focus area when it comes to giving, but it's a heavy time for us. Like, if I'm being honest, there's conversations about DE&I and after affirmative action where foundations that have been given to us, they're having second thoughts, and they're talking. Their legal team is reaching out to them saying, stay away from anything that is Black focused or very specific, because there are lawsuits coming down left and right. We are constantly under threat. So if we can't count on the everyday people, what we're doing is not going to work. I'm just going to be honest and real, and that's a fight that we have, and without the support of people that believe in fairness and believe in fixing the problems that we inherited, we won't be able to do it.
Man, that's that's a whole nother show. What you just mentioned, man. Like my spirit was like, let's go there. I'm like, nah, we got something. We got to go. I gotta get Tyree on. I got but we got to talk about this. We gotta have this conversation with the community. And I know when Tyree come up in a minute, he's gonna talk about this work that he's doing. There's gonna be a community-based event, but we got to have this conversation. I don't think people understand what we mean when we say we're under attack. Like I've been thinking about the name of my organization and how that impacts who willing to fund us moving forward. Like I'm having these conversations regularly, right? And trying to figure out how do we move forward and stay true to ourselves, right? Like I'm really big on like I'm not selling my soul for $1. I won't, right?
That's
but like, how do we continue to work, right? Knowing that we need some support to be able to do the work, but also stay true to ourselves. So that is the real true work that we also got to get to, and we got to talk about, and we got to bring that conversation to the people. I do. Definitely. I think, we've had a great time at the NFL draft. It was cute. It was great. I don't mean to use the word cute, but I'm using that word cute for a lot of different reasons. But we got to go beyond that. Like, what are we doing on a regular basis to support the city of Detroit and the students and the families and the community? So shout out to you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for spending your time with us. If the Spirit speaks to you and you can hold on for 5 minutes when I put you into the feel free to do so. If you got somewhere to go, that's cool too. Because I would love to bring you on with Tyree once I get him going, just to wrap this conversation up as well. So if you got time, stay in the room. If not, I understand. We'll be all good.
I can hang out for about 10 minutes in the background.
Okay, I got you, brother. I appreciate that.
Yep.
All right, so with that, let's bring on the next guest, Tyree, Mr. Tyree Williams from I'm calling Mr. Pillar and Pride. Hey man, people love my shirt. Well, I ain't got it on today. I had it on the other day. But people love that blue and black. So I'm always representing your
good decision on that one, man. It goes well with your city.
Hey, look, I try. So Tyree Williams, talk a little bit about, first of all, thank you for being on the show. I appreciate you are a friend of the show. I feel like you've been on here 2 or 3 times already. So you're a friend of the show officially. So I appreciate you and your support of BMEA. But I want to get right into it because I also want to bring Dwan back in here too for sort of a larger conversation. Talk a little bit about, for those who don't know, and if you don't know, shame on you, don't know much about Pillar and Pride. Talk a little bit about Pillar and Pride.
Well, bro, respectfully, I do have to open with something else before I start talking about Pillar and Pride.
Please.
And that's, man, a recognition of my respect for the BMEA platform and the Black Leaders Detroit platforms, bro. I almost wanted to, shoot a note in the chat here to say, look, man, I'm willing to bow out so I can continue to listen to you and Dwan's conversation around what's happening with regard to D&I and the downward trend of blackness, right? That everybody hopped on the train, a couple of years ago, and that momentum seems to be shifting. It's an extremely important conversation because it's showing up in all areas of society, whether that be in politics, whether that be in the corporate realm, education, etc. It's not sexy anymore, right? It's not trending anymore, and that is, to Dewan's point, a call to action for us to begin to support ourselves and not be reliant upon other communities, etc. To fund the things that are necessities in our daily lives. And I guess with that, it's kind of a dovetail in terms of why Pillar and Pride exists. Again, we were born out of the necessity of access to high quality products to help us along our wellness journey that we were finding to be absent in our community. And not only products, but also information and just network that was culturally connected, where you could actually go and have a real conversation with a real person that understood kind of what you were dealing with culturally as a Detroiter. It was really born out of some of the same type of urgency that I hear in Black Leaders Detroit, and that's why we've been supporting Black Leaders Detroit for years now with our $1 a day. I wish we could contribute a lot more because Black Leaders Detroit has reciprocated and been supporters of Pillar and Pride, man. So hey, I couldn't speak of a better way to spend 20, 30 minutes on a Saturday morning than with the two of you.
Brother, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Been appreciating you since 96, 97. So I thank you and the work you're doing. For those who haven't gone to visit, I get, I talk about my chews all the time. You start getting older and you still choose to eat unhealthy, which is why you can't ride on the ride with Dwan to Mackinac. So that's like, I'm doing this to myself. I go reach out to Tyree and I get my chews, my ginger chews to help me relax my stomach for some things, but I know I shouldn't be eating, right? But I got somewhere to go. He don't judge me. He don't say, brother, you want to stop eating. He just like, okay, I got some chews for you. Keep on coming back. But I appreciate that, and I always talk about your candles too. There's a lot of other healthier stuff that's going on that he serves, he sells, but that candle, brother, every time I put it, people are like trying to steal candles out my house. Like they trying to walk out with the candles, man. And so like, if you want this smooth, chill, calm candle, he won't give us the ingredients because somebody will take them and start making them. So don't get that away. But I just appreciate your presence in the community. It feels good, not just because I know you, but to go to and your wife to go to a space where I know is Black owned, where you guys are there to inform us, because we don't talk about our health on a number of levels, right? Our financial health, our mental, emotional, like we forget about those things and we refuse for whatever reason to talk or elevate those conversations, right? And you guys are doing that when it ain't sexy. And one of the things I talk about a lot is like, education ain't sexy. Talking about health and wellness ain't sexy, right? And so I don't know what this thumbs up coming from, but I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but there's a thumbs up just popped up on my screen. But none of this stuff is sexy that we're talking about. But we gotta get beyond looking for what's sexy. And I'm all about Drake and Kendrick, and that's cool. And I'm a hip hop fan. Like that's cool, that's cute, that's great. However, the work we can't forget about the work that's necessary in our community. So just shout you and your wife out for the work you're doing. And you guys just opened up a UPS store.
We did, but I just real quick on Pillar and Pride, man, because I think
Yep.
you are very familiar, and thank you for sharing that information with your audience, man, in terms of what is kind of available here. But just to double back on that a little bit, man, we consider Pillar and Pride a health and wellness destination. Like, you'll never hear me call Pillar and Pride a store, right? So I don't want people to get that piece
Yeah.
twisted. Yes, we sell some retail products. Some of them are proprietary, like the candles that Doc is mentioning here. But that's just one thing that we do that helps us to keep the lights on, and providing us with the ability to serve. Right, we do plant-based meals that are offered Thursday through Saturday. Here on location when we're not taking the mobile unit and deploying it in other communities across the city, trying to give people healthier options and introduce them to different options on the plant-based side to gain nutrition. So we do a number of different things. We actually have a podcast recording taking place right now in in the room adjacent. So if my voice is a little tamped down, that's out of respect for the young lady who's podcasting right in our multi-purpose room. So Pillar and Pride is really designed to be a kind of a multifaceted destination for folks who support them along their wellness journey, whether that be physical, spiritual, emotional, or helping them to get their voice out if they have something to say, like the podcasting opportunity. We also host events. So we actually have an event taking place tomorrow, a motherless brunch for individuals that are going to be celebrating, Mother's Day tomorrow, but for whatever reason are without their mothers, whether it be distressed relationships or passings, et cetera. So an opportunity for folks to commune together around Mother's Day, and it's also supported by a local Black woman therapist who will be on site to support those that choose to attend brunch. So I know it's a lot, but we do look to do a lot, but we're more than a store, and I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that people understand
Yeah.
that to be the case.
But that's great, man. Thank you also for highlighting some of the other stuff that you guys are doing. And I think that's a beautiful thing to do the motherless brunch. I think people don't think about holidays and things of that nature. But I think people are starting to do that more than they have in the past. But like, shout out to you all for also acknowledging and giving people the space. I think it's important. And that's we talk about wellness, giving people the space to be together. Around something that they may be experiencing in common. So thank you for doing that. So you skipped this UPS store. So that is a store. That okay?
That's
So
a store.
that's the store. That's the store. So talk about where is that located? For people know what UPS, just in case people forget what UPS do for you. Like talk a little bit about that real quick.
Well, thanks for raising that, Doc. So yeah, we've recently opened a UPS store franchise. It's located in Midtown, what those Detroiters, we call Old Cass Corridor. So we know what it is. But the new Midtown. So we're located at 4501 Woodward Avenue. If you know where Starters Bar and Grill is, we're located in the same complex as a Starters Bar and Grill. So UPS is actually a very interesting concept. It is a store, but we offer a full slate of business services through the UPS store. So that's full scale printing services, whether that be a single standard copy or the creation of banners and step and repeats and lawn signs and all that kind of fun stuff. We do passport photos. We are notary. We obviously do international and domestic shipping, everywhere in the world. Yeah, fully faceted there. Mailbox services as well, particularly for small businesses. So, one of the reasons also that we wanted to enter into the franchise, outside of some of the proven execution by some of our family members that have stores in other markets, is that it gives us an opportunity to employ people. It gives us an opportunity to employ Detroiters. So we actually have a staff of 7 now. And this is my wife and I who spend a lot of time in the store, but we're able to employ Detroiters. And we're going to be bringing on a couple of interns over the course of the summer as well. So for us, it's an opportunity to help coach up young people and give people economic opportunity in a proven business model like the UPS store.
Man, you like you used to talk stuff like 20 years ago about all this, like, you've been about this, like, to see this happening and the work you're doing. I'm just sitting here like, I know this guy. I knew this guy when.
But,
Um,
but
let's talk about
nothing,
this big event.
nothing is
Go ahead.
possible
What you say,
without the
brother?
support of the community, man. Dwan said it well.
Yeah,
None of these things are sustainable without the support of the larger community, man. So thank you for this platform that serves as a vehicle to let people know about some of the great
yeah,
things that are happening in and around the city. The Pillar and Pride and the UPS store Midtown are certainly not the only things that are popping, right?
right,
Detroit is
right.
actually really popping right now. So
Yeah,
there's a ton of opportunity for us to really get creative and be a part of, whether that be the new food co-op that just opened up,
yeah, yes,
or
yes,
the neighborhood grocery store over on the east side, and I'm like,
yes,
there's a whole lot of stuff happening, right?
yeah,
I just think it important for us to be diligent about supporting
yeah.
the things that are occurring, because without that support, it's not enough to like it on Instagram and Facebook.
That's right.
It's just not
That's right.
sufficient. It's not sufficient.
That's right.
You
That's
got
right.
you got to get out and spend some money, right? You got to get out and volunteer some time. You have to actually share and have conversations with people about your experience in these places to actually encourage them to
Yeah,
go and explore these events, programs, or brick and mortar businesses. And without that, man, these just likes and shares and the followers, that's not gonna get
yeah.
it.
No, I hey, for every like, if we got $1, we'll be doing something. But the likes equals 0.00, and you
Indeed.
keep on with the zeros. So, before we wrap up, I want to talk about this event that you have coming up, that I'm happy to support and be a part of. The Black part, the Block Party. Remember your power. Talk about that, brother.
Yeah. So remember your power. I mean, it just came as like many things for me. I see things, and then I'm compelled to try to make them reality. So when I started to think about Memorial Day, I'm not a military vet or anything, and no disrespect to veterans. But I said, well, what are we memorializing? What can we memorialize? What beyond uh, fallen soldiers or your veterans and such. And I said, well, how about we memorialize the power of the ancestors, and we also recognize the power that we all have within ourselves that we need to mobilize to support everything that we've already talked about in this conversation. So remember your power is really about reminding ourselves that we are capable. You're part of the three pillars, pillar and pride is wellness, education, and the last one is empowerment. So during the course of the Remember Your Power program, because that is our intention, even though this is the first inaugural, the intent is to have this be something that we can repeat and scale. So what you will experience here is not just a block party. We want to kind of blend these components and be fun, music, food, etc. We want to do free ice cream for the kids and food and bounce houses and DJ and all of that stuff is going to happen. But at the same time, we're going to be doling out significant information, relevant and actionable information, thankfully facilitated by great organizations like BMEA, New Era Detroit, Emoja Village, Lisa Hillary J, and many others. So we got about 8 modules that will be executed that day that folks will have an opportunity to sit, understand what BMEA is doing, for example, and how they can get involved and actions that they can take in their lives to address things such as accountability and education, as one of the subject matters. We're tackling other subjects like survival and self-defense, politics and why it's important to be involved in your political establishment, particularly local politics, diving into community organizing and how to establish your own community organization, be led by the Emoji Village Group. So, man, I'm super, super duper excited about being able to offer this to the community. And again, it can't happen without all of the facilitators and support that we have coming in from the community. So we thank you all for being involved. It's going to be taking place on May 25th. That's a busy weekend. A lot of folks going to be riding their bikes up to Mackinac that weekend. But, we wanted to offer some alternative. So it's going to be taking place from 12 to 7 p.m. On May 25th. And hopefully, we get a great turnout and the weather blesses us and everybody comes out and have a great family-friendly time. So I'm looking forward to it, brother.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. I'm looking forward too, man. I'm gonna do my 6 miles and then, I'll be there the week to recover and then I'll be able to show up for the work we're going to be doing that day. So, thank you, man, for having the vision and not only just having the vision, because sometimes we have vision, we keep it to ourselves and we don't do nothing with it, but actually executing on the vision. Like one of our core values as an organization is execution. Because I think we can do a lot of talking, but like, are we executing on the things that we want to do? I think that's important. And so you're doing that from the Pillar and Pride, the network. I want to call it a network of Pillar and Pride around wellness and all the work you're doing with that, as well as your store, as well as the ways in which you are engaged in the community. Just proud to know you, brother. I appreciate your support always. Like I always tell you, man, you my guy, been my guy for a long time, and there ain't too many brothers I always say that I admired and inspired to and have a lot of respect for. And you definitely one of few. So I appreciate you. When you get to calling me, I always gotta, I'm like, yes, I'm coming. What you need me to do, I'm there. So you know that. So whatever you need, we're gonna always be there to support you. Because this work is important, and we got to do. You always talk about this. You always talk about it don't take much, and you actually get really frustrated about this. I feel like it don't take much for us to share and support each other. Like, what's wrong? Like they say, what you always say, it's weird. That's weird to me, right?
It's weird as hell to me. Like I don't get it. I don't understand, and it's free. It's
but
free.
man, see, this is gonna be hard. I gotta bring you and Dwan back. He had to go. I gotta bring y'all back. We gotta have this conversation around sort of Black organizations and sort of this unnecessary, undue competition that we have with each other for no reason. I don't get it. So that's weird. That's weird to me, to your point. And so I do want to bring this to the forefront. I think it's important for us to talk about this because I think we need to throw it and within our community. I don't want to talk about it in front of, like within our community, have this conversation around why we fight with each other, or why we try to knock each other down on the side, or why we trying to be slick on the side. Like, why we doing that? Right. But I want to talk about that and talk about sort of the root cause of that with brothers like you. So don't worry, we're going to figure a time to talk about that too, because I think we need to talk about that. But man, shout out to you, man. We'll be continue to work together in every way possible. I'll be continuing to come get my shoes and my candles and anything else, and my shirts and my sweaters, because I like to rap for sure. So man, appreciate you, man. Much love to you. We'll be in touch and continue the good work.
No, much love, man. Thank you again, Curtin. All of that respect is mutual, bro. Very proud of you, man. Very proud.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man. All right, we'll be in touch, man. All right, y'all. So I gotta actually another event I'm supposed to be at right now. So I am way over time, but it's been a great show. We're gonna bring these brothers back because I want to have a larger conversation around a couple of things. One, our K-12 system. Like I think I'm really, it's been really on my heart and my spirit. I want to talk about that further and really go deep into it and have that conversation. And two, I want to talk to particularly these two brothers that I had on today around these issues of Black boys and how we can better support each other and all those things, because it is I think we allow people to put us against each other, which is problematic, but that's a whole nother conversation. And we're going to talk about that. I'm going to bring my girl, Danielle North, on to talk about that too, because her and I have talked about this on the side as well. So we'll have these conversations with folks soon. And I thank y'all for listening on this cloudy, well, at least in Detroit it is, Saturday. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. And until then, be safe and take care.